G'day, Jerry Rig Everything here from Byron Bay Observatory. It is Jupiter season right now, and I've been tinkering. I've had some time, as you know, time on my hands lately to do some tinkering in the observatory. I've had a few little equipment failures. It's been a rough week for all of us. We did find out that Celestron is in the Epstein files. Don't worry, no suggestions of impropriety here. It's just that there are some astronomy-related terms in the Epstein files. Particularly, Epstein was setting up a telescope terrace. He had some leaks in his telescope terrace. I couldn't work out what sort of telescope he had in there, but a search for Celestron did throw up a Celestron Sky Scout, one of the old kind of smart devices. But we do know from the files that Jeffrey Epstein did have at least an email subscription to Sky and Telescope. He was on mailing lists. He did have invoices from Celestron for binoculars and microscopes, and he did hang out with a lot of scientists. From all reports, he was interested in that sort of stuff, and he did make himself available to science as a patron of the sciences. And whether any of these people actually are involved in the seedy underbelly of this, I'm not sure. I'm not going to make a statement on that. Suffice to say, it's Jupiter season right now, and Jupiter is competing with Orion because it's also down here, the summer Orion target. It's a winter for you guys in the lesser hemisphere. But down here, Orion is our summer target, and I'm really wanting to get into all my favorites up there. I did a little bit of the Horsehead, as you know. But right now, Jupiter is the star for me. I will be training my telescope, my C14, on Jupiter for a long time, at least a month or two, because I want to do the asteroid impact detection and along the way, hopefully get some good nights where I take a nice sharp photo. So the aim for that is doing it over and over again. But one of the things that failed in my observatory was the ZWO EFW Mini, which had the 1.25 inch filters for RG and B essentially. Now I've had this little cheap ZWO filter wheel system for a while and it's been perfectly fine, and it just stopped moving. I would plug it into USB and I could see the wheels spinning up, but as soon as I got the driver to go anywhere, it would just freeze. So I bit the bullet and I got their new upgraded one. Now you might not have noticed, but ZWO quietly released a whole new lineup for their whole filter wheel system. Apparently the build construction is a lot better, but also they've made the jump to USB-C as well, which I don't know, I never noticed any kind of light leak issues on the old filter wheels, and the jump to USB-C is nice, but it doesn't actually make a difference to anything. So do we really need it? So if you have a working filter wheel, you probably don't need to update, but if you're getting a new one, you may as well get this new 2025 series version. Anyway, I will show you the filter wheel and a little bit of the Jupiter stuff. My name is Dylan O'Donnell. You're watching Star Stuff. Now, if you are interested in picking up one of the new filter wheels, do check out the show sponsor, High Point Scientific. They do ship anywhere in the world, but if you are in America, that's going to be your best bet. And they are the best bet for getting the lowest price, especially during all the tariff situation and getting stuff from China and all that sort of thing. But yeah, they'll ship anywhere in the world, so it's worth checking out the price to where you are. If you're into that sort of thing, they have a price match guarantee and they fully support their products. So really, there's nowhere better to go. High Point Scientific, thank you for supporting the channel. Anyway, you can see the difference here. So when you are looking for the EFW Mini, you won't find it. It'll automatically, the High Point Scientific site will automatically redirect you to the new one. You can see the new one has the size in a box over the EFW. It just looks a lot better, I reckon. And you've got that USB port on the front there. So it sort of comes out of your telescope parallel to the telescope rather than coming out the bottom, which is kind of nice, I think. So I'll be doing surgery here. I need to take all my filters out of the EFW Mini and get my whole image train over to this new one, which is pretty easy to do. I just got to swap the adapters and take out the glass and put it all back in the way it was. Now, before you go and pop this in your image train, of course, you want to make sure it just all works with your driver software and that sort of stuff. So Hook it up to a computer if you can, your control software or whatever you're using. I'm using Fire Capture, so I'm just using a dummy camera, so because I'm not really testing the camera, I'm just testing the filters here. Then you need to initialize your filter wheel by ticking the box and initializing, and that'll connect you to the ASCOM driver. And before you just leave it like that, go into properties and you can set your filter names in here in the ASCOM driver. And while you're in here, you can run the calibration and tick unidirectional as well, because I believe it goes both ways. And that'll run for a little while and spin everything up, and so you can sort of make sure that everything works, which is nice to see. The calibration will run for a little while, and then after that you want to make sure that the actual filter selection in your acquisition software will change to the right filter as well, because you don't want to mess that up and then find out later you've swapped G and B or something stupid like that. So I'm pretty happy with that, so I am going to put this in the observatory and get it into my image train, and I'll be using the QHY 678M for this, back to the mono. Just a little bit of a quality bump from one-shot color, although one-shot color is fun and convenient. It's nice to see the planet in color all the time, but if you have the patience, using mono with your RGB filters for Planetary is just the way to go. You will get a little increase in quality. So it's been nice watching Jupiter. Before I got the filter wheel on, I put on the color camera and I got a nice little animation. It's not as high quality as I'd normally get with a good night with mono, but it's fine. I tested the ZWO new filter wheel, the 2025 edition, although they came out in December 2025, so I don't know why they didn't just call them the 2026 edition. But even when I don't have a great night's run for imaging, I can still pass that data for the asteroid detection people. In fact, it's analysing the frames that I took last night to see if there's any asteroid detections that I should take a look at just in case. And even the null data I'll be passing to the detect team as part of the research, so that we know when Jupiter isn't being hit by asteroids. So it's nice to know that there is a little bit of scientific value in even my bad data. Now, do you need the new filter wheel? Not really. USB 3 is just a modern port. It's not actually going to make any difference to the speed. You don't need speed for a filter wheel. It's a one single instruction going down a cable. The construction of the units themselves is better, with a lipped hinge around the side so that it all fits nicely with no light leaks. There is a light leak like seal or gasket around the points where you would screw the camera on, but there is no major need to upgrade if you have a filter wheel that's working already. Because it is not going to make really any difference to your imaging or the quality of your image if you have an existing filter wheel that's working fine anyway. If you do find you have light leaks, that's really surprising. I've not heard of anyone who's had light leak issues with the old ZWOs, but I could be wrong. And I'm in an observatory, so it's all pretty dark in there anyway, even if there was light leaks in the filter wheel itself. But it is an iterative little upgrade from ZWO, and it's good to see iterative upgrades. In this case, it doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. All it has to do is slightly improve on the working product they had before, which was still good. And if that's the goal, this is a huge success. So I'm quite happy. They're still very cost-effective, inexpensive filter wheels, and they work great. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that video. I don't know when I'll be doing another one. The Patreon is paused, as you know. I'm going through this cancer diagnosis, and I am in the middle of chemo right now, and there'll be a lot more of that this year. So yeah, my timeline is a little bit screwy, but thanks for all the messages of support. I really appreciate it. It was nice going through this process, seeing the notifications coming up on my phone. which were just 100% supportive, and they would come in at all times, even when I was in hospital or whatever. So even if I didn't get back to you, thank you for the messages. It really buoyed my spirits. But anyway, you've been watching Star Stuff. My name is Dylan O'Donnell, and remember, everything is meaningless, and we're all going to die.